Well, all right, we got us a convoy. No, not really. We got us a tractor Tuesday. It's about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice day. And 65 just seems to be the magic number today. So let's go check out a tractor that was built in both the United Kingdom and the United States. In the States, they started making them in 1957. In the United Kingdom, they started making them in 1958. Very popular machine, well built, well designed, and people were proud to own them, and I think they still are. Well, here I am. We got a 1963 Massey Ferguson 65. Let's check it out. Massey Ferguson 65. This was the predecessor to the famous 165 that everybody loves so much. This is a diesel, and we'll talk more about that in just a second, but I just want to do a quick walk around. The steers on this thing are good, man. It looks like it's got the big aggressive, maybe those are rice and canes. My word, they gotta be 15.538, so these are gonna be the same size as what's on my M. And good 3-bottom tractor all day long. These ran the farm in the early 60s. They just did. And you can go to the United Kingdom, popular. Here, popular. The 35 also was a very popular tractor and still is, I'm sure. The thing about these tractors is they came in LP, gas, and diesel, but in 1960 they stepped up their game a little bit, at least in my opinion. Maybe not to you Massey guys, but they went from the A4, I believe it was the 192 diesel, and in 1960 they went to the A4 203, so it upped the ponies slightly. And I don't know, when it comes to parts, I imagine you can still get parts for these readily, especially since this is going to be the 203, the bigger engine, the later model. It seems like it would be easier to get parts for. They had the exhaust running under, so I'm guessing they used this maybe as a brush hog tractor for going under trees or whatever they did. And the fact that he's got the grill guard on here, I'm reasonably sure that all the evidence points toward he was going through some brush and getting rid of it with this beast. And let's check out the back jack. And it's funny, these are chipped and stuff like that, but they're not really dry rot. I mean, for my standard of dry rot, they're good years. Okay, no remote, but I believe you can run one the way these are set up. I knew a guy that had a Massey 50 and it had a loader on it. It was a trip bucket, but you could have done all kinds of little weird things and buy a kit and run the hydraulics back there. This has been welded. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing, that's all. You could get these in Cat 1 or Cat 2. The only complaint that I ever heard about the Massey 65 was the braking system on these, and I've had no experience with it, so I expect you Massey Ferguson know-it-alls to know this, and that it wasn't a 5-minute job changing these brakes out, these disc brakes. So yeah, let's walk around the other way. Yep, been upgraded, 12-volt system, and I'm sure that was a huge upgrade for cranking this beast over. And look at that seat on there. It's got the rain collector, but it's as thick as the one I've got on my M. And you know, this one's not ugly like the one on my M, but I tell you what, for as comfortable as the one on the M is, I'm not changing it out. I have no desire to do so. Got the clamshell fenders. In England they call these mud guards. So yeah, we call them fenders, but yeah, I mean, it's all here, parts and pieces and everything else. Some guys ran loaders on these, I don't believe that he had one on this. I could be wrong, but it's really set up as row crappie as you can get it, especially with the 15.5s on there. And yep, if you're ever going to get one, this would be one to look into, especially if you wanted to restore one. Now, it is a little bit wet, but I consider that part of the rust prevention program. And looks like what's this going to be, high-low? Yeah, kind of like the David Brown setup. Yep, and there's a hydraulic fitting right there, single. So I'm sure you can set it up for a remote. There's almost no doubt in my mind. Brake systems, you know, it's the press down pedals, which I always found odd, but I suppose it's just a matter of getting used to. One guy I talked to several years ago had a Massey 65. Now his was a gasser. He knew somebody that had one of these diesel tractors, and he owned it since inception, right off the showroom floor, and it had 20,000 hours on it before it needed overhauled, and that was just due to proper maintenance, oil maintenance. And if you want to know, you just pull the dipstick. Almost all of the oil is going to be black, especially in these diesels, but when it's thick and gooey, they didn't do proper oil changes. That's a tall tale sign. But yeah, to get 20,000 hours out of any of these machines speaks volumes about that man's maintenance he did. The other thing I always liked about these tractors too is that they had the bonnets that flipped up, and it was just easy access. You didn't have to take the muffler off, take the air cleaner off, and take all the tin off. You just flop, flip, and you're done. So that was one aspect about these I really admired. All right, and that tractor is for sale this Saturday at WTC Auction in Sagertown, Pennsylvania. Kickoff 9 a.m. Let's see if you're man enough to take a hit at kickoff. You're either running down giving a stick, or you're catching a ball and getting stuck. But either way, get your wallets out. Let's go, let's grow our fleet.